What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Dame. Subscribe to Dame's World if you haven't. If you have, you already know what it do. I salute you. Shout out to my subscribers again. All you motherfuckers put substance and content in them feeds that give a nigga like. So there's a reciprocity to this shit. It's not just one giver. This relationship is symbiotic. So shout out to the subscribers of the channel and the future subscribers and even the viewers who don't subscribe. I appreciate you too. And the niggas who don't. Fuck it. We appreciate everybody. But this video is in regards a reiteration to a point I made in one of my real talks, which was the art of argumentation, how we argue. You gotta reiterate the points, because the system, they'll tell you the same message 35 straight times in a row. Repeat. 200 years in a row. They'll tell you Columbus founded America. They still telling our kids that. So we gotta combat the bullshit with the real shit. You feel me? So how we argue is the topic today, and that's one of my real talks. You can check that out. How we argue is essential to me because I see in the public square most people argue to be correct or right. Now, an argument, this is just logic. An argument cannot exist. An argument cannot exist if there was a correct right answer. Because at the end of the day, facts and truths are a form of construct we accept as humans. We create facts and we create truths. So there's some delirium to even those. But on our human realm, we accept facts and truths because it's subject to our human nature. We all humans in this public square. So we accept truths and facts. So with that being said, we're not arguing who's the 45th president of the United States. We're not arguing what day was the Emancipation Proclamation signed. We don't argue things that there's no wiggle room to argue that. You're either wrong or you're right. It's either true or false. Now, history may be distorted, and we may argue that, but some things like Donald Trump being the president, 2020, 2019, it's a fact. Your argument, your conclusion is on the basis of the facts that you got. A lot of the times we fuck up in the public square because we can't discern fact from conclusion. A fact, we're not going to sit up here and argue. We're not going to argue whether or not Donald Trump is the president, whether or not he passed certain bills. We're not going to argue those things. We can see that hard evidence. But we're going to argue whether or not Donald Trump is incompetent, whether or not Donald Trump is a good president, whether or not he a real one. People, when you just test the evidence, go look at arguments. In the public square, you'll see people arguing their conclusion from the facts as if they're facts. We gotta be better. We have to be better as humans. We have the ability to have reason and cognitive thought and support our argument and acknowledge that our argument is not the only way, is not the only outlook. Because you're indulging in the argument. Because you're indulging, that should tell you that your argument is fallible. Niggas ain't like, hey man, dang man, the sun is out today. The sun is out today. And I'm like, oh no, it's not. It's not out. It's not out today. We both in the same spot looking at the sun. I'm not arguing. We don't argue facts and truths. So if you think something is wrong or right, you got to acknowledge that's based on your moral or cognitive subjectivity. Your moral or cognitive subjectivity. Let me repeat that shit. Because to me, it's different forms. There's an innateness how I feel that's right or wrong. That's why I don't want to infringe on rights, harm. That's why I'm against oppression. There's before reason kicks in, some shit don't sit well with me. And then there's the cognitive form in which we argue for the most part. We may argue intrinsic things too, but arguing in itself is cognitive. You feel me? Language, argument, arguing, having an opinion, it's a cognitive function. You know what I'm saying? You may express it from the heart, but it's a cognitive function. So we can't let those outlooks overpower that connection that we got. Because at the end of the day, we connected. So we arguing to really get a better understanding. For me, I think it's best served if we argue to get a better understanding, both of us, to have more so of a deeper outlook based on somebody else's ingredients they put to the pot. We all got shit to put in the pot. You just put your opinion and your ingredients in, I put mine in, and it's not like I'm right, you wrong. And that's where we fuck up in argumentation too. He dumb, he don't know what he talking about, he ignorant, he stupid. Name calling, ad hominem. Terrible fallacy on how to argue, especially if you're trying to build a rapport or come to some understanding. I'm working on it. I can never say I'm the best person at argumentation. I'm not. I'm always working on it. You know what I'm saying? So in working on it, I realized that right answers, it's like I love pro-life. Right answers and wrong answers are subjective. I've learned pro-life. I believe in free will. So based on my dispositions, however they came, I have certain belief systems that go with that. Because I believe in free will and the right to choose, I always believed in pro-choice. And it came a time where I couldn't listen to a pro-lifer. And that's how we become. You have to acknowledge your own primitive nature. You get angry and emotional for an opinion, which stagnates the consciousness of yourself and that collective consciousness that you're trying to build with who you're talking to. So, but then when you listen to the argument and the reason, and you be like, okay, they have reason and logic, that's a good opinion. Even though I don't, that's good reasoning for your opinion. Even though I don't agree with your opinion, that's good reasoning. And you brought good facts. You know what I'm saying? You brought hard substance to the plate. So we just got to ask ourselves, why are we arguing? Are we arguing to be right? If you're arguing to be correct, then it's a competition and it's really stagnant, and it's going to become petty chatter of, oh, you stupid, you dumb, you just don't know what you're talking about, you burnt out, you weird, you crazy. You hear the rhetoric, you see the rhetoric. You see how it can become petty chatter. There's nothing conducive from trying to be right or correct in your argument. You're better served like, hey, this is how I look at it. This is how I see the things. I don't agree. This is why I don't agree. I respect you, still my nigga. I respect, because a lot of people will lose relationships over people who have disagreements. A lot of people won't interact because you see somebody's opinion. You be like, oh damn. A lot of people cast type me as pro-black. So some people who are reticent